Hey, you guys. Thank you for tuning in to the I Was Thinking podcast. Again, I want to appreciate everybody for giving me, feedback on the last couple podcasts I did. Um, what I'm going to do today, I'm just going to jump right in to the topic that I want to talk about today. What I'm talking about today is dating someone with children. What I mean when I say that is not just one, sometimes multiple, sometimes a house full. How challenging that is in 2018. I'm pretty sure it's challenging every other year, but it just seems like every year it gets harder and harder to do what basic things. But this really is just about something I was thinking about because at this time, for people who don't know, I am in a relationship, and my girlfriend, she does have a child from a previous relationship. So at first, I was very against it. I wouldn't talk to any woman that had a child only because of, well, actually, no, I couldn't. I don't want to say only because I had a host of reasons why, but you'll hear why. I think it was either validity, like it was validated, or it was just sounded, ignorant or crass. But it's hard in 2018, for real. Like it's hard to just date anybody for that fact. My last podcast, it was more so about interracial relationships and kind of how it nowadays it can be looked at positive or negative depending on your viewpoint. But even now, just thinking about that is kids, because what if you're in a relationship and they had kids from a previous relationship? So many different dynamics. I just want to kind of jump on today. Now, if you like me, if you're over the age of 30, well, actually, I would say over north of 26 when your insurance get cheaper. Uh, well, 25, 26, that's when your insurance get cheaper. If you're north of that, you got to pick a street. When I say that, like, you gonna find somebody. If you find somebody who ain't got no kids and they ain't crazy, then good for you. 31. The girls that I came in contact with that didn't have any kids or I thought was dope turned out they was batshit crazy, nutty ear the squirrel shit, or they was hiding something, and then I'm like, okay, that's why your ass is single. But what I realized too is I was not talking to a whole group of females, like women that had kids. And I had my reasons why I wouldn't do it, like I said earlier, but no, I wasn't doing it. But I had to realize I had to pick a street. And while I really do think at the end of the day, if I really wanted to find somebody or something like that, and I could have, it's just one of those things of now I think I was being more ignorant to other people. When I say that to say is I'm not being really empathetic to people's situation, and I can miss something I really wanted the whole time because I'm so ignorant towards that. So I'm just telling you, a lot of you guys got to pick a street. If you ain't, then just be happy being single. But I don't know. I had to just go ahead and do it. But really though, I have reasons why I wouldn't date nobody, and some of the reasons why I wouldn't date nobody is because I feel like if you have multiple children, when I say multiple, I would say I'm gonna say a 2.5 and above. When I say 2.5, depending on your two. Let's say for instance, if you was married, you got two, got a relationship, and whatever happened, okay, I give you that. I give you that. But when I say two, and you just was fucking two different baby daddies, 2.5, when you start getting 2.5, that's when the half come in because it's an asterisk. But once you start getting these kids and they ain't got no dads, and they a year apart or like things like I'm like, oh man, I can't take you too serious because I don't feel like that you gave your time enough to know who you really were, and you were bringing kids in this world. So how can you be a good, wife or girlfriend to me in that sense? Because um, if you have four different men, four different baby fathers, whatnot, um, and they all a year apart, you cannot know these men like that. They wasn't your best friends. It was just kind of a look at a draw, but I would say 50% of the time. With that being said, I just cannot deal with four different families I got to get used to or know because I'm the type of man when I go to that house, I got to be the man in the house. I ain't got to be, authoritarian. I got to tell you what to do, but I'm a man at the end of the day. So if I see four kids who, half of the dads there, half of the dads aren't there, are there, then I gotta either pick up the slack or scale back. at certain times, and I don't want to be in a competition with anybody. The people I see in certain relationships, they are in competitions with other baby mamas, other baby fathers, things like that. My job that I work, I hear and see all types of relationships that are blended families, and they got to deal with so many different dynamics because of so many different people in that pot. And well, again, I'm not knocking people who are parents. Like, more power to you. Telling you right now, from a first time parent, it's the best thing ever. But I won't date you. I might fuck you. I'm sorry to say it like that, because if I'm single and I got nobody, you could be thick as hell, look nice. I mean, I see why people put four in you. I mean, it's probably clapping the right way. Probably your snapback game probably together, but can't take you serious, man. I'm sorry. Like, no, hell no. No, hell no. You probably get more on your bridge card more than I get my whole paycheck. Hell no. Fuck that. But to the sisters who don't need it, not doing it, more power to you. But I'm just telling you. So I couldn't deal with that. I didn't want to deal with that energy. I didn't want to deal with that. Uh, that many different people. It's just one of those things of it's just too much energy. I guess that's all I can say. It's too much energy, and you're not giving it to the person that needs it. And the people that are successfully in doing that, more power to you. It's just not gonna be me. Call it what you want. I'm just not doing that. But the reason why I tell you why I did date somebody with kids though, was because of that reason. Because I seen how non-selfish you have to be a good parent. I seen everything you had to sacrifice to be a good mom, or in certain people's case, to be a good dad. It's impossible to always think about yourself and thrive as a parent. Seeing how, in this case, Detroit interacted with her daughter, it made me literally look at, people with children different, because you have to sacrifice, and knowing that you will sacrifice for them, knowing that you will do anything for my baby. And at the end of the day, that's all I want. I'll be fine. But I need you to be a great mom. I need you to be a great dad. I need you to be a great, parent. And knowing that, I know, like, hey, I know how you'll treat my kid. So I had to step back and realize, like, it wasn't always about me. And I had my reservations about her, too, as well, from the get-go, because I'm thinking, like, you know, um, now your daughter is 10 years old and you chose to have another child now, 10 years later. Cool, you did everything you had to do. But how you have a baby by this nigga? Like, that's what I was thinking. Like, if he was all these dudes you say he is or whatever, like, in my head, like, how did you do that? But rather than think about how did it happen, I got to look at it like it happened. What did she do to bounce back from it? And a lot of these women, a lot of these guys, they go through those situations and they bounce back from it. And I'll be the first to tell you, I looked at the situation totally wrong, not looking at it like they bounced back from it, or just look at it like it's a black cloud over their head. So that's why I wouldn't date them. But I'm saying that's the reason why I would date them, if that makes sense. I date you now, I would date them now because of the resolve and what they showed. Opposed to prior, I just thought they was being reckless and ignorant. But yeah, so I mean, it's one of those things. It's just it's hard. Like it's hard. Like I'm so sorry that me seeing how she we're in the house with the baby, every day. Well, she ain't at work. I'm at work. She's off work for a little while, but it's crazy to see how much work a child is. So to see how much work a child is and see somebody do it by themselves or know that they do it by themselves, and to have the wonderful children that a lot of you guys have is wonderful to me. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that, for one, that somebody can leave their kid, not be there with their kid, but it's two, how much attention a child really needs. So even with that being said, I don't want to deal with that with somebody who with four times over, so to speak. When I say you got 4 or 5 or 3, like I can't do that, because it's just not cool to me. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not cool to me. It's not conducive to what I want to do. No. But to those who do it and lead great lives, more power to you. Like, I'm high five, girl, high five, homeboy, whatever. But nah. But my thing too is that I kind of want to say is, me saying that I wouldn't date you. Obviously, it's not the end of the world for some of y'all, whatever. But Me saying I wouldn't date you, that does not mean you're not going to make a good girlfriend, a good wife, or you did make a good girlfriend, a good wife. That don't even necessarily mean you was a hoe. That just means, in my opinion, you was a hoe. I mean, in my viewpoint, that you did that. But even with that, you still could be the best teacher, best, be the best doctor, best lawyer you ever was. It's just, that's my viewpoint. So I want you guys to kind of understand that when you take some of my words into context, understand that it's not always to sit here and say, my word is not bond. This is the way I think, in a way I kind of get through, my segment, people who I date, how I date them, why I wouldn't date them. And as you know, this is a time like where my viewpoint got skewed and it got switched around because of the situation I was put in. But I just say that to say this, single parenting, more power to you sisters. But you got to make sure that to the ones that's having these kids, man, just make sure that it's boundaries and set, because a lot of times a lot of guys don't want to talk to nobody with children because there's not appropriate boundaries being set between them, the dad or the mom. There's just not no boundaries, so they don't know there's what they should or shouldn't say because of that. Because they come into that relationship, they don't know if they're supposed to come in as being the man or just sometimes be the, stand back, because your kids, they don't know your kids. A lot of people are scared of it. I know personally, I will just be a little candid with you guys right now. I wasn't scared of it, knowing that, Detroit had a child. It was just one of those things that kind of threw me off, being that because I met her, she's 10 now. I met her when she was about 7. So she was about 7. So it's about 3.5, 2.5, 3 years. And kids are one of those things, they can see through people. So you can lie to a grown up, but you can't lie to a kid, because they know, they know when they're not good people. They know when they're not about the right thing. So me being around that, I had to come correct with her, with her daughter. And it was kind of scary to me because I didn't want to come off as a bad guy. I didn't want to come off as somebody who's taking her away from her mom. And even now, I got to think about with this new baby, I don't want her to think that the new baby is taken away from her. So, it's like a jet. It's an ever flowing, it's a puzzle that's always going to move. But to have that with so many different other people, it's hard for some people to deal with that, myself included. Even after all of what I just said, I still, if you have multiple like that, different, no, I couldn't do that. 25, 4 kids, 40, no, I'm good. I'm sorry. You straight, go that way. But I don't know, man. Even with her, man, it's just dope. But it's dope. I mean, it's the best thing I think I ever did as a man. Like, kind of checking myself at the door and realize that mistakes do happen and stuff do happen. It's just how you bounce back from it. And just being respectful of the person bounce back instead of they fall. So, that being said, I'm going to let y'all go. I want to thank y'all again for tuning in to I Was Thinking Podcast. I mean, if you guys have any questions or concerns, feel free to, hit me up. I'm more than happy to address, if it's, if it's feasible, I'm more than happy to address or whatnot. I'm going to be trying to do a couple live podcasts for the most part. You guys can call in. And if I say something, I mean, don't go in on me like that, but state your point, and I'll be more than happy to hear it. But for the most part, I want to thank you again for tuning in. This was the I Was Thinking Podcast, and you guys take it easy.